Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Vaun. Vaun is from London, in England, in the UK. So let's see what Vaun has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Vaun. How are you?
Blessings, I'm well, and yourself?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
It's been an interesting day. I worked out this morning. I took my class, so I guide Pilates. So I took my Pilates class, and then right after, I rushed down to go and do some bar because I'm doing some training in other modalities. So yeah, it's been a busy day. It's always a busy day. And yours?
It's great to be busy. I think I love it. Being busy, it's a good way for you to, to keep the energy in a great place, and the
Mm,
troubles a little bit on the side, like the evils on the side.
exactly.
It's been good, my day, actually. I went to the gym as well this morning. I had some breakfast. I kind of, organized some interviews. I was editing a little bit, and now I'm here with you having a great time.
Great. I'm just going to move this out the way. So there we go. Okay. All right. I'm back in this place. Okay.
Oh, tell me, where are you from?
So I am from London, specifically East London.
Wow, born and raised?
Um, I would love to make it sound more exciting, but basically I was raised in South London and then I've moved to East London. And the other day someone said, "Oh, that's fun, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess it doesn't sound as exotic as I would like, but yeah, South London to East London, here I
And
am."
tell me, what was the best part of growing up in London, in your opinion, experience?
Um, for me, I think it's the multiculturalism. I mean, I was part raised in Camberwell, part raised in Stockwell, so there was a lot of Portuguese around me, and then my ancestry is Jamaican, so there's lots of Jamaicans around me, and then living where I live, then you can go in central London, and then you see all of the opulence and the wealth from I want to say the colonizers, but anyway, we're not going to get into it. But you just see all of these things all in your arm's distance. So yeah, it's quite nice, and obviously getting older and then being able to express queerness because there's so many spaces to do it in. Whether you're black, whether you're Portuguese, whether you're whatever you want to be, there's a space for you. Bear, twink, this, that, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think London it's a melting pot where people they literally, express the best self of themselves.
The best, so, but yeah, they're definitely expressing themselves.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And you said that you teach Pilates. That's your occupation.
Yes, so I am Pilates, yoga, and a sound facilitator.
Wow.
And I've been guiding those modalities now for the last 8 years.
Wow.
In the last four, I've moved on more to what is called like Bhakti and Kirtan, so more like meditative practices. So when I do
Mhm.
yoga, I do more like meditation, still yoga, but less intense. And then with Pilates, yeah. So reformer, mat, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's interesting because it was very much yoga, 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 and it still is yoga, but a lot of people now are getting injuries. And it's just like if you have knee issues, back issues, the high impact kind of engagement that you get from yoga, depending upon what kind of yoga you do, like the average person isn't doing yin yoga, they're more doing like power yoga, vinyasa flow. With that, your knee, your hip, your back, whereas with Pilates, it's low impact.
Mhm.
So a lot of physiotherapists, osteopaths, like chiropractors, a lot of the people in the medical field, like medical profession, they suggest to do Pilates.
I see.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay,
And as
Vaughn.
well, it's become quite trendy because of the reformer kind of like, oh, reformer Pilates. It's just like a newer thing. So yeah, but anyway.
So before we start our journey, within the magic box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or something that not many people know about you.
Oh, okay. Something interesting about myself. Okay. 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with inattentive ADHD. Not many people know that about me. Um, And around the same time, I really started to move into expressing myself with a more mindful orientation with my gender. So I started to really encompass and understand what it means to be non-binary. And I have decided to come out with that. And in the queer world, there's still a lot of navigating, but here we are. So neurodiverse, inattentive ADHD, non-binary. And when you actually look it up, a lot of people that are non-binary tend to have neurodiverse needs. So it's quite aligned. Yeah.
So people who is watching the interview right now and they don't know what the meaning of non-binary, how would you explain that?
For me personally, it is about this is my interpretation and why I feel it's important to have my own articulation of it. I feel from birth, not I feel, but I know from birth, we are organized, we are put in categories. So for me, AMAB, assigned male at birth, I am Black, I am working class. So instantly, all of these things are attributed to me, which then puts me in a certain category within wider society. And I feel like when you start to embrace non-binary or like different identities of gender or gender presentation, then you start to challenge the hierarchies. So I'm very much into sociology. I'm very much into understanding our space in the world, humanitarian studies. And I feel it's really important that we start to be more critical of our place in the world and the hierarchies and how we perpetrate and sustain the oppression, because ultimately we are oppressing ourselves by not confirming, but by aligning with these gender types, with these expressions of race and sex and all of these things. So basically a long-winded way is just me saying that it's about really embracing the fact that we aren't this, we're not male, we're not female, we're just ourselves. And that's what it means to me. I can't speak for anybody else.
I see. Okay. You said, I think nowadays, as you said, nowadays people, they are more open and understanding about different ways of you sexually express the way you are or how you feel. It doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter how you've been introduced to the words, but it doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel towards your own sexuality or the way you express yourself regarding that. That's, I think, how I feel.
I feel like there's a lot more awareness. I feel like there is a lot of it's been weaponized a bit by the media. So now it's just like all of these buzzwords of non-binary, trans, this, that, and everyone's arguing about this, and it's like the politicians are just doing what they're doing anyway, and we're all worrying about who's trans and who's non-binary. So I feel like it's one of those things that maybe in the next 10, 20 years, being non-binary, being trans would be like, like being gay in the 90s was like, oh my God, you're gay. And now it's like,
Yeah.
So it does take time. But right now, I feel like we're on kind of like a weird bridging between the old way and the new way and seeking new identities and understandings of ourselves as we evolve as human beings, or regress in some ways as well.
Absolutely. And, seeing someone like you talking so open about it, and very understanding as well, I think it's just open people's minds, and people get more educated and more understanding if they hear the word, non-binary. Oh, actually, I remember seeing Vaun talking about, so it's something it's about talking, and the most you talk, the most you explain, the most you express yourself, it educate people, open people's minds, and that's we're gonna get to a point, as you said, gonna be okay.
Yeah, 100%. And also as well, making space for making mistakes. I feel like everybody's so afraid to make mistakes that there's non-binary, I don't know what it means, so I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist. It's like if you talk to like a group of non-binary people, they're all gonna tell you different things because they all have their own experiences. So it's so super important that we don't like impose our ideas or our views upon people, but also as well just taking the time to be open with whatever comes up, because I could say that now and then learn a new facet about myself and say, do you know what? At that point in my time, I felt non-binary, but I've recently discovered that there's another term that I identify more with. And not that to say it's a trend, like being queer, like I can't just say I'm not queer anymore. It doesn't work like that. But with the words and the phrases and how they are deemed and how they're supported or kind of used against us, sometimes it can be quite scary trying to navigate your own understanding of self in such a world where everything is very dynamic and, well, I say dynamic, but everything is very binary. You know, like you're this or you're that, you're black or you're white, you're rich or you're poor, and then everything else kind of like a bit. Yeah.
Nice. Amazing. Vaun, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend. Run the fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Okay. Yes.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
All right, let's do it.
First question for you is, who do you count the most for help?
To the divine. I meditate, I do japa, and it's just like, yeah, I just speak out loud.
What's the definition of divine for you?
It changes. I use different things to connect to it, but ultimately it's the higher self, the most refined self, the self that is beyond the tangible. So sometimes I do japa and I recite to Krishna, who is a Hindu god, or I recite to Saraswati. When I say recite, I do mantras to them. So Om I'm Saraswati Namaha, or Maha Mantra, which probably everyone has heard by now if you live in London. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I do that, or just sometimes breathing, or I kind of just like have a whole big panic attack and then something just comes to me. So it really just depends.
I see. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it.
Yes. I mean, I can't hear the music, but I can dance along with you and just go by your rhythm.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Just feel like you are having the best time of your life.
Right. So it was just like, hey, okay. I went to a bar this morning and they were playing some really good music, so I'm listening to that in my head now.
Great. Next question is, who is a celebrity you admire and why?
Oh, right. So I admire, how many celebrities am I allowed to pick? Is it just like one?
One, for now.
100?
Which
okay,
one?
One. Okay. All right, Lenny Kravitz.
Wow, good one. Yeah, tell me your connection with Lenny Kravitz.
So they've always been an originator. It's through them and seeing how they express themselves with gender, and how alternative they are, how spiritual they are, how beautiful they are, and how ageless they are. I mean, they have transcended. The way that they move through life is so aspirational. They don't adhere to societal rules, but they find themselves in a position where they can be so confident with who they are, and that kind of makes everybody else feel at ease. You know, like when I see them, I feel like I want to have that ease, that confidence. And it's them that's really made me look into myself. And if I want to be sexual and, you know, have my nipple piercings and my piercings over my face, whatever, I can. If I want to be a bit more playful with my gender and present more femme, I can. If I want to be more mass and go and lift weights, I can. And not that Lenny Kravitz is doing all that, but you know what I mean? Just seeing someone like that was a focal point for me. And they're quite sexy as well, so that's probably more so why.
Of course. Next question. Before the next question, Vaun, tell me, you know, what's the biggest joy of being, you know, a Pilates instructor? Not just Pilates, but yoga, like the whole service that you provide for people. What's the biggest joy of it that, you know, makes you wake up every day and have the best of it? And of course, there's always the flip side, something that you find most challenging. What that would be?
Every time I leave the house and go to class, it's a new experience. I love being on my toes. I love having the capacity to improvise. I love the freedom, the liberation, the intensity, the ease, the calm of knowing that I am contributing to someone's health and well-being. Um, and my own, to have a career where I'm making money, doing what I love by balancing health, fitness, and spirituality, and having the time in the day in between classes to go and, ride my bike down the river and or go to an art gallery or go and work. It's just so rewarding and it's just so amazing. Um, it just brings a smile to my face. I'm just so grateful to the universe that this has aligned for me. One of the downsides that I would say with any type of freelance role, you know, everything is, like, not that you're always on eggshells, but when you do a lot of freelance, lots of people can come to class one day, next week nobody comes. Excuse
Right.
me. Or like you get wonderful opportunities at this time, and then the opportunities they quiet down. So you're always not in a mind of scarcity, but you're always being aware that, okay, you have to make as much money as possible at certain points, or you have to try and maximize the money earning time because you don't know what could happen tomorrow. So you're trying to be present, but you're always thinking about the next step, the next move, and as well the competition. It's very competitive.
Right.
And you've got such an influx of professional dancers and athletes, and everybody's like they want to be number one. And it's like where you situate yourself, how you market yourself, who you're marketing yourself to. Like you have to be a really good entrepreneur. And then it's just like, okay, well, what do you do next? Are you just teaching classes, or are you going to start doing retreats? And it's always a bit like, this is escalating bigger than my own understanding of self. And it's just like, where do you want to go? Where are you now? So it's very insecure sometimes.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think interesting saying that. You made me think now. And nowadays, the well-being word, it's been so popular more than ever. That's, of course, together along with that comes a lot of people as well who embrace it and make business out of it and start to express themselves, and suddenly their competition is big. And as you said, one point you need to adjust yourself to the business, to the world, to everything, and it can be a challenge for sure.
Yeah, if you don't have that understanding of being flexible or making sacrifices, it's not the industry for you. But then for me, it's just like, well, what is? Because if I'm standing somewhere bored, or if I'm doing something that isn't engaging me, I feel like because I have the diagnosis of ADHD, now I understand why I'm like this. Whereas before I was working in jobs where I was just like, I don't know why I feel like this. I feel so empty, so unfulfilled. And I'm looking around, everybody just seems at ease, even if they're not happy, I'm doing something that's going to make me happy.
I see. All right. Next question is, do you have any pet peeves?
So people that eat with their mouth full, sometimes I go to some places and it's just like you're eating with your mouth full. And fair enough if you're covering your mouth, having a bit of a conversation, like someone, it's just a bit like, okay. But when there's no one around you and you're eating with your mouth full, and I've started to realize that I feel like it might be a cultural difference. So there's that. Another pet peeve is people that talk to you, then you respond to them, and then they zone out or they cut you off. And I'm just like, so why did you ask the question? So for me, it's more so like, how's your day? Oh, do you know what? La la la. Oh, that's good. I said, why did you bother to ask my day? Like what? Like that kind of. I feel like it's like a British politeness. Sometimes we say these things.
Oh, next question.
Yeah. That thing. It's just like, what? But yeah, that. But you have to navigate it, because the British politeness thing, especially within my industry, everybody's very much like, and you're like, okay, yeah, all right.
I love your honesty. Next question, let's do it. Next question is, tell me something that you won, something special, and how did you win it?
Okay. I didn't win it. I paid for it, but I got a good price for it. So it was essentially my harmonium. So
Mm.
when I was speaking about Bhakti before, for those of you that don't know, a harmonium is a no, well, not pre, but post-colonial instrument. So when the British went to India, it could have been something to do with the French as well. Basically, it's organ part, kind of like key, like piano thing. I say thing, shows how much I know. But anyway, it's it's basically an instrument that is used in kirtan, and kirtan is a devotional practice where it's a call and response recitation of mantra. So this
Wow.
instrument is used to support the kirtan mantra process. And I was part of a group of bhaktis, we call ourselves, and people that are into devotional music and such. And there's a lot of groups around London, and I was part of a few of them, but I never really felt part of it because I feel like I'm the only queer black person in most of those spaces, and sometimes it's very evident. And then when you try and talk about it, it's a bit like, well, we're all here for the divine. It's like, yeah, I get that, but I don't really relate to anyone here. But anyway, might just be me and my life. But I was in this WhatsApp group, and then I just randomly said to some, like, I was just like, I'm gonna put it out there. I've been thinking about it. I would love to get a harmonium to do my own mantra. And then within 2 seconds, someone messaged me, was like, yeah, I'm selling a harmonium. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And it's like, where? Okay, where do you live? I live in East London. Oh my God, so do I. Where? In East London. Oh, I live down the road. I was like, what? And it was just like, boom, 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 boom. And then I've never spoken to that person since. They sold me the harmonium at a good price. It was almost just like, here's the harmonium, you manifested it, here, buy. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah.
I thought it would be a different story. Like, okay, he lives down to my seat, and now we are together.
No, it's me and the harmonium. And for those of you that have a spiritual practice, you'll become aware that as so many things come into our lives and as so many things leave, the only thing that is consistent is the connection to the divine. And I say this because I've had relationships, I've had breakups, I've had highs, I've had lows, and the only thing that makes me feel alive, the only thing that makes me feel connected to something beyond all of the things that come and go is sitting down with the harmonium, reciting mantra, and remembering that everything is temporary.
Amazing. That's why I saw on your profile sound. There was a word there, sound.
Yeah,
Oh, and I made a
yeah.
note here to ask you that, but you already answered before. I know.
Oh,
I made a
good,
note here.
good, 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 good.
Amazing. Next one.
Now listening to some brave music now. Hey.
I
Anyway,
love it.
okay.
Right. Next
Yeah.
question for you is, talking about people, relationship. Tell me, what is the worst first date have you ever been on?
Wow. The worst first date I've ever been on is when somebody that I was speaking with turned up half an hour late. So we were quite young and we were meeting in McDonald's randomly. And then I fell asleep in McDonald's and then they showed up like 35 minutes late. So I fell asleep waiting for them. And I just sort of thought to myself, I should have got up and left. But they were a jerk anyway. But yeah, I was quite young. So that's my excuse. And that was the worst date that I can remember.
One person to go on a date with you, what this person must have and must not have?
There was another bad date, actually, coming to think of it. I'll go back to that one. I was a lot older. The person turned up with like baggy clothes on a bike, hungover. And I'm just like, dude. But anyway, but let's get back to it. So your question was about what's one thing that they must have. Sparkling eyes and a nice smile. And at least like smelling nice. And then what I think I've answered it. Like, so you said what they must have and what I don't like. What was it?
Yeah, what they must not have. Yeah.
What they must not have. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I don't know what to say, like what they must not have. Oh, I don't know, like if they're quite like if they can like if they seem like they don't want to be there. I don't know how to explain. Like some people come on dates and it's just like, why did you come on the date if you don't want to come on the date? Or like if you want to make an excuse and go, just go. Like don't like let's not waste our time, kind of thing. But
I
that
see.
sounds a bit crazy. But there's just crazy people out there, and I'm crazy myself sometimes. So I don't want to waste no one's time, and you don't waste my time, and everybody's happy, and no one wastes time. So anyway, that's me.
It's like go or no go. You go or not. If you go, go. If don't,
Yeah,
just don't go.
like we spoke, we've like like you've seen me, I've seen you, now you're here, and it's just like you don't have a vibe. Like if you're not bringing energy, if you're not bringing a vibe, I've got quite a lot of personality,
I see.
apparently, and it's just like if you're not really vibing or able to like have that vibe, it's just like
Oh.
yeah, no, yeah, someone's calling me, kind of thing.
3 questions left. Let's do it.
All right.
Next question is describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
One positive word is curious.
Okay.
One negative word, stubborn.
What's your star sign? What astrology?
Sagittarius.
Oh my God, December.
Of course. So this is all the things. If you look up Sagittarius, um, curious creatures, completely stubborn.
Do you know what? Do you know what's the one of the biggest characteristics of Sagittarius that they stands out compared with the other ones? Do you know which one?
What's that? No, what
They,
is it?
they have the biggest heart. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Compared with the
okay.
other. Yeah, my first boyfriend, he's Sagittarius. My second star sign, Sagittarius as well. So my first one is Scorpio. My second one is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, I've been told, and every star sign there's like a big characteristic of them. Yeah, and
Mm.
Sagittarius, they have the biggest heart compared with the other ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice. I mean, but that's probably like a blessing and a curse in this cold world. It's just like you have these big hearts. Where's everybody else with the big heart? Come through.
yeah,
Anyway, that's nice to know.
yeah. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
I don't want to sing over your music, but it's in my head now.
Before the next question, before the next
Yeah.
question. Pilates, yeah. What's the
Mhm.
difference between Reformer Pilates and Pilates for people they don't know about it? What's the biggest difference?
Okay, so reformer Pilates is with a reformer machine, and it has straps and loops and springs and a carriage that can challenge your stability or it can support your stability. So a reformer was actually made for like war people that had injuries from war. If you were bedridden, how could you exercise? You couldn't. So it's suggested or supposed that Joseph Pilates added some springs to a mattress and just did simple exercises with moving the arms forwards, back, side, back, and over the years it develops. So that's why it's super good for injuries and the way that you move. And then mat Pilates is, you know, like all of that, but without the bed, without the springs. So it's your own body which can increase with how far you extend your legs and your arms working from the center. So it's a very different experience. You can be a lot more dynamic with mat because obviously you haven't got to worry about the springs or the carriage moving from beneath you, but with the mat practice sometimes there's certain things that you can't fully express or articulate with your body because you may not have the core capacity to do so. Whereas with a reformer, it gives you that kind of support to maybe go a bit further and feel more contained. Mat Pilates is good because, I mean, the average person doesn't have a reformer in the middle of their living room at home. A mat you can pull out at any time. So ideally, you should be doing the both of them.
I see. All right. With you, with Vaun. Yeah, he's the one.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. But me. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I was like, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Me.
course. And you're like, look at me like what? And
I
I'm
was like,
here like,
who? I was
whoa,
like,
whoa.
yeah, me, exactly. Vaun Guides, Vaun Guides.
Next question is, what is the first thing that you think about when you wake up?
The first thing I think about is where I can situate myself to meditate.
Okay.
That's always the first thing, especially, I mean, at home, I have my own setup, but if I'm staying at my partner's house or if I'm staying elsewhere, or it's just like, oh, I have to wake up very early, where can I go to meditate? Do I then meditate at home or do I meditate on the tube listening to my Swami, Swami Sada Priyananda from the Advaita Vedanta New York? Amazing Swami, please check him out, people, podcast and Spotify, all of those platforms. Yeah, that's always my first thing. What do I do? Do I do an offering? Do I shower with the offering, or do I just do like a breathing meditation? That's always my first thought.
Do you do every day? Do you meditate every day?
Every day.
Wow.
Every day. And if I can't, well, this is it. Like, I feel like it's such a thing, but you can meditate in many ways. You can meditate just by having a moment to breathe in and out before going on your phone. You can meditate on the tube. Like I said, I listen to Swami. Sometimes I'm cycling on my bike, just listening to a guru and focusing on their voice and what they're saying, their vibration, the way that they carry themselves through the practices that they've done. It is meditation. So there's so many different forms, and I feel like we really need to be aware that doing meditation isn't just sitting cross-legged on the floor for 2 hours. There's so many ways. You can do japa with your bead, tat, 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 tat. You can have like a little device where you click and do a count. So I do all of these things because of my ADHD as well. I need dynamism. So I'm always doing something. Yeah.
Amazing. Ready for the last question?
Is it that time already? Imagine that. Well, yeah, why not? Go for it.
Let's do it. But before the last question, for your career as a well-being facilitator, tell me a moment or a situation, that you're never going to forget, something that's always going to have a special place in your heart, connect with people or teaching people or guiding people. Tell me a situation that you could share.
There's been so many over the years. It's a bit hard to say, but I feel like for me, it's when you're teaching a class and then you're having so much fun, and then someone says to you at the end, like, do you know, such and such, like for instance, this was years ago and I'll never forget this. And the lady was just like, I really enjoy your classes because it's such a nice respite. My husband has been diagnosed with cancer, and just coming to your classes has been a really nice thing for me. And I'm just like,
wow.
I didn't know what, like, I don't know what to say. And sometimes because I'm quite playful, I didn't know, like when I get a bit nervous, I get more playful. But I was a bit like, wow, I'm really touched. Or, when I was teaching yoga for a charity last year, Middlesex Pride. And after I finished teaching yoga on the grass, only a few people showed up because it was the first Pride. And then there was a person that was very quiet in the corner. And I went over them and they were crying. And they just broke down crying. And I'm just like, this is why I do what I do, because it's not about, like, there's so many dreams and aspirations I have. Of course, you want to go on Instagram and you want to have these 500,000 followers and you want to be all over the world doing handstands and splits on the beach in Bali or whatever. But that's not what it's about. It's really about just touching that random individual in the smallest of areas that, I don't know, that doesn't have access to all of these amazing things. And if you can just touch their life and plant a seed to make them feel more at ease with whatever they've got going on, that's what touches me. And even speaking about it now, it's quite emotional, but just remembering that I forgot about that, and it's just like, yeah, that's it.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Last question is, what would your ideal life look like?
It's so funny because I feel like you've been saying, this is the last question, this is the last question. So how many last questions are there? I think I keep hearing it in my head. It's the last question. So how many last questions are there? All right. So what is it? Say the question again. Sorry.
What would your ideal life look like?
What would my ideal life look like? Okay, boom. Writing this down. I'm manifesting. So my ideal life would be to So I would like to be a life coach. I am a life coach in a way. Not in a way, I am. But to take it to the next level where I am training people to be life coaches, where I am empowering people, where I have financial freedom to support young intersectional people to do what I do so that we can take this teaching, this training into spaces that need it. One of the things I've noticed with well-being is that, due to the affluence, due to people's income, that determines what they have access to. And there's so many people that need these modalities and they don't have any access, or they don't know where to go, or the studio's too far from where they live, or they can't afford it. It's like, for me, that would be my life, like, empowering people to have financial freedom themselves, doing what I do, also as well implementing more philosophy, more nutrition, more fitness, more homeostasis, which means wholeness and completeness through mind, body, spirit, into everybody's lives, so that we're all liberated and that we all have enough overflow to support everyone. It sounds very big, but I feel like you have to dream big. What's it? Shoot for the moon and aim for the stars, or aim for the stars and land on the moon. One of them types of sayings, but that would be it. Just to have financial freedom to really support and help people, and to educate people in ways that make them feel like they are able to do anything, because I didn't start with this and it took me a long time to get here. And now that I'm here, I'm just like, everybody has to know about this. And I was like, yeah, here you go, just like here. But obviously you have to pay me some money first. Corporate people pay me, then I'll share it with the village people. So that's how it works.
Yes, I think dream big, it's a beautiful thing. It's not wrong with dream big, you know what I mean? People, they might be a bit shy about dream big. No, it's a good thing. Dream 100. Big. It's a beautiful way of of dreaming. Absolutely.
100. Yes.
It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with family.
Connection.
Money.
Balling.
Fear.
Curious.
Love.
Sensuality.
Life.
For living.
Sex.
Everything.
Politics.
Everything.
Religion.
Subjective.
Friendship.
Healing.
Desire.
Manifest.
Regret.
Sorrow.
Success.
Illumination.
Wish.
Abundance.
Happiness.
Ease.
One word for London.
Oh my God, the first thing that I don't even know where this came from, but I'm going to say bombastic. I don't even know why that's coming to my head, but I feel like doing this as well. Bombastic, and I haven't done it in so long. But anyway, coming to London, bombastic. Oh my God, there you go.
One word for England.
One word for England? I want to say grey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yoga. One word for yoga.
Oh. The word, it's a bit more than one word. Fibonacci spiral. Random as hell, but basically it's a spiral of everything. So a Fibonacci spiral it means everything, all encompassing. Yoga.
Amazing. And the last one now, well-being facilitator, one word.
Oh, jeez. I want to say orgasmic. You keep asking me this one word, it's the first word that's coming to my mind. It's like, yeah, bombastic, orgasmic, all of these words. There you go.
As I think you mentioned that you got a partner right now, yeah? For the interview, you have a partner. Yeah?
Yes.
So if I would ask your partner, I'm going to meet your partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your partner, What's the most beautiful thing about Vaun? Yeah. And what's something that he still needs to work on? What's your partner would say?
My partner would say the way that I am looking, the way that I go about the world.
Mhm.
And then I think my partner would say, probably they haven't said it, but probably be being a bit more not even organized. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to say it. It's like basically to not stress so much. Because a lot of the things that I do, I'm very calm, yoga, Zen, meditation, but I do all of this because I'm chaos. But if you know your star signs, you know that that's Sagittarius all over. I'm aiming for everything, shooting for everything, and it's chaos all around, but it's got a lot of calm.
I see. And where that's the time when your partner comes to balance and calm you down a little bit, cool you down.
Yes, that's exactly that. Yeah, yeah.
Let's play now Vaun and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a
Okay.
question. Yeah, but before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay,
Okay,
so I'm
you can
going into the. Oh, okay. The music stopped. All right.
you can
It's like musical chairs.
you can ask me a question now, Vaun.
Okay, what made you seek people to ask these questions?
Wow, beautiful and powerful question. You know what, Vaughn? I think, like looking at you and seeing the way you express yourself, very natural and very spontaneous. I think all of us, we have, something to share with the world. We have something unique. Everyone is unique. Everyone got something. And I believe that, when I look back through my life and also like as an adult as well, I always been doing that actually. When I look back as a teenager, I remember like on school breaks. I remember with my colleagues, I was like, "Oh, who was your favorite teacher? What do you like the most about living in the city?" So actually, when I started doing the show, I didn't realize that. Of course, I do the show, in front of the camera with people around the globe. But when I look back, when I analyze myself, even as an adult, when I go on holidays with friends, there's always a moment I was like, "Oh, so tell me, what was your favorite teacher?" So I've been doing that already, and I just realized that, before the COVID crisis, I wanted to do something on YouTube where I could express myself, I could connect with people, but trust me, I didn't know what I could do. I was like thinking, and suddenly the world shut down. 2020, remember everything stopped. At the same time as well, of course, it brought a lot of sadness, a lot of pain, a lot of things that people didn't appreciate. But at the same time as well, it brought some positivity and good things out of it as well. Of course, you remember in London at the time you could leave the house once a day for exercise, yeah, to do something outdoors. One of those runs, yeah, I remember the moments, I remember the place, exactly the place where I was running, and this idea came along. And I stopped and I started to have goosebumps now. I stopped, I was like, my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna create some questions, I'm gonna research some questions, I'm going to invite random people around the world and see, their opinion, their point of view, the point of views, what they can share, connect with other people as well. And here I am after 3 years, and I have over 1,200 people here on the show, and people expressing themselves, people connect with other people as well, people bring their energy the same way like you are having these moments, and it's been an amazing experience. I have no idea how powerful it is to see people expressing themselves and connect with other people around the world as well. I think you know very well, because the job that you do, it's about helping, connecting with people, expressing yourself. So the same feeling when you have this big orgasm, I have the same every time when I sit here to meet a new person here on the show. And I know we meant to have this moment today, and I think that's the best of the Magic Box for sure. Did I answer your question?
It did, but I feel it's so important to sometimes take a moment of pause to really connect to the feeling in the sense of what you manifested, you know, from when you said that you were doing your run and that was the feeling that came up for
Yeah,
you. And to think about this is where you're at now, it's
yeah,
just really beautiful and rewarding to know that if we do put our minds to something and if we have this vision, especially when it comes to, I personally feel that what you're doing is service. You know, you're serving people, you're giving people a platform to share whatever it is that they feel like sharing. Other people are seeing that and it's encouraging them maybe to share something of themselves that they may have not have been aware of, and that's beautiful. So yeah, that's just like a moment of pause there for gratitude for you to really connect to that divinity within you and others as well.
thanks so much. I think I feel very lucky and grateful every single day. You know, I go to bed every night thinking about the magic box, and I wake up every morning thinking about the magic box. And it's so
Awesome.
amazing. It's something that I never thought in my life that I would have this feeling. And I can tell you, like, with my arms, like my heart open, it's such a great feeling knowing that, I'm gonna be able to connect with people. I'm gonna, learn. You have no idea how much I've learned and
Mm,
how much I'm going to learn in the future as well with the show. People open my mind as well, not just other people, but my mind has been open, have no idea, some topics that I never thought
mm,
about. And
mm.
people, they're educating me here as well, because there are so many things that I never thought about, and people talking like the way you talk, very open. It's about helping and educating people as well. So yeah. Did you enjoy the interview?
I did. And do I have an opportunity to plug anything?
Absolutely. I'm going.
Yay.
Absolutely. Feel free.
So I'm not sure when the interview will come out, but if anybody is around on the 1st of March, I'm at Papa Loco Party. So it's a Papa Loco is a spiritual rave full of everybody, majority queers, but it's a spiritual rave. It's in Fold, East London. And it'll be all night gong and a DJ set with amazing DJs. Papa Loco Party, and then on the 11th of March, I'm doing a Kirtan Kiki. So if anybody is curious about Kirtan, I'm doing that in London Bridge. And if you want any more details about any of the classes or any one-to-ones that I'm doing, please feel free to DM. Or hopefully I see someone at either Papa Loco, the next one, or one of my own 11th house events, which I have a separate page for. All of it is on my DM, but at least just to put it out there. So hopefully I see someone and like, yay, Vaun, hi, how are you? Blessed? Yay, the family, great, wonderful.
Amazing, amazing. I'll make sure to put this clip before the interview goes live. Okay, I'll make sure.
Yes, that's it. Papa Loco Party, Papa Loco Party, all right.
Amazing. Well, before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
To always be of service, to always remember that no matter what you're going through, your story, your support, your compassion can help somebody else, which will ultimately dissolve the issues that you're having within your own life. And this is exactly how and why I'm still able to do what I do and why I started in the first place.
Amazing. Very good. Thank you so much for the interview. And see you in London sometime. My God, we live in the same city. See you in London
I
sometime.
know, right? All right.
Thank you so much.
Blessings.
Have a nice day, and keep in touch. It was a pleasure.
You
Okay?
too. All
Take care.
right. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.